Hi guys, as usual, before we'll begin, all the necessary links in the video description and my test system setup details in the video description too. So, after I got SMSL PA40 that I liked so much, I got interested in L07 by FX Audio. PA40 is great, but you cannot replace operational amplifiers and it doesn't have XLR balanced inputs. So when I learned about L07 that has those and on top of that can be used as monoblock for something like $20 more, I decided to get a pair. This time from HiFi College, I know these guys have an AliExpress shop as I was buying some D-class amplifiers based on TPA4116 a few years ago now, but mostly they sell through their own portal now. I got two of them as $300 places us in low-priced clone amplifiers tier. So these are fully balanced stereo amplifiers based on Infineon ME5332MS chips. According to the manufacturer, this is fully balanced construction. They have unusual size and they can be configured as monoblocks. There also is a digital to analog converter and headphone amplifier in matching cases. So let's see PA40. PA40, I would say it's roughly the same volume, because if I will stand it like that, then it's just a little bit smaller than FX Audio L07. But as I told you, it doesn't have balanced inputs and you basically cannot replace operational amplifiers inside, and that cannot be used as monoblock. So let's talk some numbers. These can output 100 watts in 8 ohms per channel or 200 watts per channel in 4 ohms. In monoblock mode, in BTL mode, that goes up to staggering 400 watts per channel. THD is specified as 0.008%, so THD is excellent. But you have to remember that the maximum power output figures are given by the manufacturer for 10% THD. You will never ever listen at 10% THD because you would tear your ears apart. That's just unlistenable. With regular volume levels, with regular power output levels, I think it's at 1 watt. THD is 0.008%. That's really low. Signal to noise ratio is specified as 98 decibels. That's also nice. Frequency response is given as anything between 10 Hz and 24 kHz. But there is no number on channel crosstalk. I couldn't find anything in the official specification. So the numbers look good. Each one of those amplifiers, because there's a second one here, the second one is already open, so we'll take a look at it in a second. Each one of them is something like 1.5 kilograms, so they are not very heavy, but they are not too light either. They are just right to plug your cables and not to worry that the cables will do something like that with your amplifier. Now, let's talk about the build. In the front of the amplifier, I'm sorry about that, we love symmetry. In the front of the amplifier, we have a volume control, yeah, that doubles as nothing. It's just a volume control. But we do have a select that's used to choose the balanced or unbalanced inputs, and it also doubles as a power on. If you keep it like that, you will power the device on or off. We also have 3 LED status lights here placed in a very small holes. These two guys will show you whenever you're using balanced or unbalanced inputs, and this one lights up when the power amplifier is powered. This also has some nice texture. All of the chassis is made from CNC machined aluminum that was sandblasted, and it has a nice texture. In the back we have set of inputs, one set of balanced inputs, one set of RCA inputs. Interestingly, these two, both of them, are marked as BTL input. Most of the amplifiers, most of the D-class amplifiers working in BTL mode usually use only XLR input. They do not have RCA input. This one can work in BTL with XLR input. We also have two sets of speaker tabs because basically this is a stereo amplifier. So we have one set for the left speaker and one set for the right speaker. In BTL mode, as you can see, you should be using positive connectors for both channels. The upper one for the positive connection to the speaker and the lower one for the negative connection to the speaker. We also have a magic switch that changes the stereo amplifier into BTL monoblock. And we also have a power socket connector with integrated switch, master switch here. Interestingly, it says that this can be powered with anything between 100 volts and 240 volts power grids. Yeah, so that's about the external build. Let's talk about the internal build. As I've said, this all is CNC machined aluminum, so this means that this is now thin metal here on the sides. In order to open up the device, you need to remove 4 Phillips screws that can be found in the corners here. Then the first thing you will need to do is to slide away the front, because there are 3 cables connected here that I've already disconnected. 2 of them are going for the volume control, and the third one is going for the switch and for LED controls. Once you will disconnect those cables, you can slide this away like that, and you can slide the actual amplifier and the power board out. Yeah, as I told you, this is not just thin piece of metal, it's CNC machined. Now, let's start with the power supply. If you've seen my other reviews for gear like SMSL amplifiers, you will probably recognize this power supply module. It's the same as the one that was used in PA40 and some other SMSL amplifiers. I think it's actually exactly the same module up to the point where the capacitors are exactly the same. The same brand, the same size. So this is really good power module, as I liked other constructions that were using it. The metal board in the middle works as a heatsink for the Merus chipset. You can probably see the metal block that's touching the underside of the PCB, and on the top of the PCB we will have ME5332 chipset. So that's the power supply. Yeah, it's good, but not much to talk about here. And we will have the actual amplifier board here. So we have 2 cables, the black ones, sorry, it got tangled, the black ones for the volume control. They are exactly the same. One goes towards the volume port and the other one gets back to the board, meaning that we can easily bridge input and output bypassing the volume control. And the volume control is done using some quite cheap volume potentiometer, so it may be a good idea to bypass that. Why? Because if you'll configure this amplifier in BTL monoblock mode, the volume control is still active, meaning that you have mono amplifier but with active volume control. And some of you may actually like that, because this way you can set the balance of the channels independently. But for most of us, this will be not very useful. Also, I have a very strong feeling that setting this to maximum position on both amplifiers will not result in exactly the same value for both of them. I haven't measured that to confirm my suspicion, but if you're gonna use them as a simple mono amplifier, That would be the way to go, just to bridge them together and bypass the volume control completely. Now, looking at the board, we have Nippon Chemical capacitors here, the large ones, and as you can see, they are specified for 680 microfarads. The red guys are German Vima capacitors. We have Merus Infineon chipset here. I'm not sure you should be able to see the marking on the chipset. Interestingly, the board is marked with Rockville Lux 300. Yes, Rockville produces some amplifiers, but I haven't seen anything looking remotely similar in their offer. But honestly, I wasn't looking too hard. Maybe in some other amplifier the board is mounted horizontally, so on the first look you won't be able to see that this is the same amplifier. And we have four double operational amplifiers, JRC 4580D. These are not the highest class operational amplifiers, so they can be replaced with something else. That's a clear upgrade path. However, you need to remember that you will be limited with the height between the deep socket and this place here in order to fit them in the chassis. And the capacitors around them are also somewhat limiting because they are pretty close and they are higher than the deep socket. Meaning that if you'll be placing something that's not standard DIP8 sized, you will need to use another DIP socket as a standoff. I was trying these amplifiers with some other operational amplifiers, and I will talk about that more in the later part of the review. For now, I will tell you a couple of things. The first one, LC5s that are quite affordable and they are really good will not fit because they are just too high. LC2s, the earlier version of LC5s, fits perfectly, but these are no longer produced. A bummer. And now there is a new version, the horizontal version of the LC operational amplifier by Acliam that I actually have been testing for a couple of weeks now, and I was fitting them inside and they work perfectly. They are horizontal, so they will fit, but the thing is that these are spaced quite close together, and those horizontal operational amplifiers wouldn't fit because they would be touching. So what I had to do is I had to use double DIP sockets under every second one of them to achieve something like that. So they would be not touching, but they would be placed one on top of the another. And it worked wonders. I've also checked staccato, but staccatos are just too tall, and I don't have the horizontal version here, so I wasn't able to check them. Balson V7s were the only ones that were fitting perfectly. They are quite tall, but there is something like 1.5 millimeters between the top of the operational amplifier and chassis. So I was able to fit them in this amplifier. I was also able to fit V5s. These were perfect fit because they are basically DIP8 socket sized. And of course, as I said, anything with standard size like OPA 6 to 7, we can see here, OPA 8 to 8 will be a perfect fit here and very easy thing to replace. You just need to take care about the proper positioning of the operational amplifier. So as you can see, the pin 1 goes here for all of them. Now let's close that guy. The blue ones. The blue ones are V-shaped capacitors, so quite nice too. And we also have some relays, but these are not terminals, but they still work perfectly fine. Yeah, that's it. So let's close that guy. Give me a second, and I will tell you about the sound quality. Be right back. And that's how it looks with everything connected, and you just need to slide it back like that and screw those 4 screws. in the back. So let's have that guy over here and let's talk about the sound quality. Now, as usual, I will start with the bass. You may remember that one of my test tracks is Fallout 3 theme by London Philharmonic Orchestra. Now, this one is one of the few amplifiers that have necessary authority for the very beginning of the track, for the heat and the pressure of explosions. This very good Class D bass is fast, it's precise, and it's really powerful. Interestingly, it's not dry, but it doesn't cheat by adding some mid bass to fake the warmth. No, it's clean, it's precise, and it's not analytical and dry. As you may see, I really like the bass here. It's really powerful, it's precise, it's fast. It's that kind of bass I'd like to have in all of my amplifiers, include clones. And I may dare to say that this is the same type of bass that can be found in D9 Pro or T9.4, which is the highest compliment. It's clean, it's precise, it's fast, and it hits really hard. It goes really low. Now, moving on to mid-range. The mid-range is detailed and it's not dry or veiled. And this is a compliment, as usually D-Class uses slow, not very precise operational amplifiers to make it sound less analytical. Here we have clean neutral mids with a lot of detail. It's not warm, but it's not cold either. This amp walks the fine path of being clear and neutral. Voices have natural timbre, there is no sibilance, though some of my tracks that I know can be hot had some maybe not exactly graininess, but something like, and I know it will sound absurd, but they'll have something like sand in explosives. Just the ones that I know that are hot and can be sibilant with other amplifiers. They were not sibilant here, but you could hear some kind of, yeah, the best word for me would be a sound in explosives. Just a little bit and just a couple of tracks. I have these tracks are actually intentionally there because I need and I want to test all the gear for the sibilance. So these tracks are bordering on sibilance and can be sibilant with some amplifiers, can be not sibilant with some amplifiers, can lose the, let's say, that hot element in the S with some other amplifiers, which not always is good. But this one is not sibilant, but it does have some kind of graininess, sound there, but it's still fine. And we will get back to that in a second, because there's something important. Now, the treble. Treble is open, it's full of air and transparency. The extension is great. There is no early treble roll-off that was common with older D-class amplifiers, especially with speakers that were 4 ohms or lower. These do not exhibit anything like that. There is no treble roll-off. The treble stays clear and transparent even with low impedance speakers that are difficult load. Treble is also very detailed and it's never harsh or sibilant. So I really like the treble here. It's very clean and it's very open. Now, the detail. As it was with PA40, we have tons of detail. Every little thing is here, every vibration of the string or metal trumpet. Resolution is great and it's effortless. All of this doesn't make this amp sound analytical. Interestingly, there is that's achievable even with stock amplifiers, operational amplifiers, which I usually hate. But in this case, those operational amplifiers are not making the amp sounding veiled and losing detail. But still, the stock operational amplifiers are not the best. When I was replacing them with something better, these guys were getting an instant level up when it comes to detail. Still, even with stock amplifiers, stock operational amplifiers, the detail level here is amazing. Guitars, brass instruments sound really, really good. Now, imaging, that one is difficult. The soundstage is wide, it's very wide, but the thing is that it's rather flat. There is very little depth information and the images are hard to pinpoint precisely, with the exception of the center image, which is good but not excellent. This amplifier is able to get the sound away from the speakers, but everything is happening in almost flat plane. Also, the instrument images have no precise borders, so sometimes they can overlap. You do not have the precise positions of the instruments and the sizes. The sizes are blurry and this blurriness can overlap. So you can tell that the most of the guitar is coming from this place and the most of the trumpet will be coming from this place, but you cannot precisely say that for sure the guys were standing there, because sometimes they can even overlap. Not very often, but I have some tracks that were like that. Yeah. So getting back to the imaging, what I was saying, I definitely expected more in this area, but again, for the price, it's not that bad. When I was doing this review, doing a couple of past nights, I realized that I may be a little biased here, because the last full reviews that I was doing were for A75 and PAS LF5 clones. And these are excellent, and they made straight to the top 5 of my recommendations. So I might be a little spoiled by the past 2 reviews that I was doing. But we still will get back to that when I'll be talking about 2 of them. And that's this moment. So if you will use 2 of them, and maybe before I begin, I should tell you something from the functionality perspective. What I liked about those amplifiers, and I'm getting ahead of me this time because that would be a part of summary, is the fact that you can buy one, then you can replace operational amplifiers to get the best sound. Then, if you have the budget for that, you can buy the second one, and you can upgrade the operational amplifiers in the second one. Then, later on, you can add something like tube preamplifier to the pair. And the thing is that this way you have a very clear and very good, very precise upgrade path ahead of you. You can start with low investment, because that's $150, actually a little less, for one of them. And as you will get some additional budget, you can upgrade the set. So now let's talk about 2 of them and what changes when it comes to the sound quality when you are using 2 of them. The first thing is that you immediately hear improvement in imaging. The sizes and the positions of the instruments are clicking in the right places. This adds some transparency, that was a surprise, as suddenly there is more space between instruments. They will not overlap any longer. The positions are getting precise, the sizes are getting better, and this means that you get the areas between the instruments and there is a space. You can actually hear that everything is more transparent. So now with 2 of them we have some real depth information. Still it's not super deep, but it's okay, it's proper now, as there are things that are happening in the back and there are things that will happen in the front. There also will be something happening in the middle. So you have proper layering now. Interestingly, what also got better was bass and mids. Now that's something I did not expect, because usually when I was testing other amplifiers and I was testing them single versus dual, the overall sound signature was not changing. But in this case, bass gets even more powerful. It was super earlier, but now it can shake the walls. The mid-range loses any trace of that sound in the vocals I was mentioning earlier. It's just clean and open. So the first thing is that Clearly, two of them have better channel separation, that's obvious. But when you have working them in BTL, you also are, in a way, I don't know, cleaning the sound signature. So that was something really important, because two of them are not just the sum of their possibilities. There is some great synergy, and they will sound way better than just one. Now, as I've said earlier, it gets even better with better operational amplifiers inside. If you will use some discrete class A operational amplifiers or something like OPA 627, digression here is that in this case, I liked OPA 627 a little more than OPA 828 because of the difference in treble. It was slightly smoother, I don't know. So I liked OPA 627 more than OP828. If you replace the stock ones with something better, you will add a hint of warmth and class A smoothness to the sound signature. This also improves imaging further if you have two of them. You may get similar thing with tube preamplifier, so it's like a logical step in an upgrade path. Even single one of them was able to drive both A-stands and M10s. A-stands are my electrostats, and M10s are those guys. Those large guys that will have their separate review soon, I hope. Because it's quite hard to get them open, because each one of them is a little bit over 60 kilograms. So it's not like I just turn them on the side and easily remove anything without fear of damaging my furniture, my walls or anything. So getting back to the reviews, even single one of them was able to perfectly drive electrostats and M10s. But two of them were of course better, and if I was on a very tight budget, I could actually really live with pair of them. I would then replace the operational amplifiers. And when I'm saying that I could live with them, this is a very high compliment, because, as you know, I've been testing a really expensive and, no, maybe not, that's not the right word, the clones of really expensive amplifiers, the excellent amplifiers like Burmester 909 clone, like Accuphase A75 clone, like a couple of Musical Fidelity clones that were excellent. And still, I would, hearing all of that earlier, I would still be able to live with them. I would just replace the operational amplifiers and they would be driving my speakers perfectly. So this is the third, I think, set of MS5332 Infineon-based amplifiers that I've heard, and I'm starting to think that this will, or at least it has the potential to end the TPA 3255 Texas Instruments supremacy. These are better even in stock form, and replacing operational amplifiers pushes them even further. You will ask me, surely you will ask me about zero zones, and you will ask me about the PA200 by SMSL set that I was reviewing recently, and you will ask me for comparisons. So zero zones are still on the top of the hill, but with class A discretes. Somebody really put much thinking and much heart in squeezing all of the TPA 50-55 performance in some magical way. Then we will have a set of PAs 200, and these will be right behind, which is a very big compliment. That's excellent, as a pair of L07s will be cheaper than single SMSL PA200. So a pair of them will be cheaper than a single PA200, and a pair of them is just right behind the pair of PA200s. I will talk about that more in a minute. Dual L07s sound better than single PA200, and that's a fact. Being cheaper, you'll pay less, and these will sound better than a single PA200. I really like the sound quality of the set, the power, the dynamic, the neutrality, and the detail they provide. Imaging could be improved, so I would really recommend better operational amplifiers and maybe a tube preamplifier somewhere down the road if you'll be buying them, to get most of those guys. Still, at a little less than $300 for pair, these are a steal. And even in clones realm, they won't have real competition for the price, functionality, and sound quality combination. Why? Because if you take the price into account, there's just a few clones that are in this price bracket, and I'm thinking about the pair of them. If we would be talking about the single one, there is no clone with comparable price. If we will be talking about the pair, then I think just two of the cheapest clones will have the comparable price. But then again, they will not have that kind of functionality. They will not have balanced inputs, they will not be able to work as monoblocks. And they will surely not have that kind of power output, because two of the cheapest clone amplifiers that I've been testing were actually Class A constructions. It was Musical Fidelity A1 and it was Hood 1969. So they are also great, absolutely great and recommended by me clones, but still the combination of the price, the sound quality and the functionality with those guys is outstanding. Now, I've told you a couple of times already that I'm following D-class developments closely, and these guys, based on MS5332, are, in my humble opinion, a clear step ahead compared to TPA 3255 based D-class amplifiers. Now, I'm waiting for zero zones to make balanced monoblocks based on that Infineon chip. I'd love to see something like the zero zone monos based on TPA that would be using Infineon chips, because the guys there clearly can squeeze every last bit of performance from D-class amps. So I really like them, and these get my recommendation. I think I will need to make additional section of my recommended list for D-class amplifiers, and these definitely will be there. Again, links in the video description, test system setup details in the video description, and there's one thing important about my test system setup, and that's the fact that for this review every single other element of my test system was more expensive, significantly more expensive than a pair of those guys, including cables. But in this way I was able to squeeze every little last bit of the performance, and I was able to judge them, to assess them properly, including those problems with imaging. There is a very high chance that if you want to have the rest of your setup as transparent as I have here, you won't be able to tell that these guys may have some problems with imaging. That guy and that guy, because when they are working as a pair, that's fine. If this review helped you in any way, if you like this review, you're more than welcome to buy me a beer using PayPal link down below, or super thanks on YouTube, also below the video. Thanks for watching this video and have a great weekend, guys. If you have any questions, if you'll notice anything on the boards that I was missing, just give me a shout in the comments as usual. I will try to find some time today and tomorrow to catch up with all of my comments. You know, the end of the year is starting, and my regular day job that pays the bills for all of these is taking most of my time now. So I have less time to answer all of the comments. Still, I'm trying to do my best to answer every single comment I will find there. So, thanks again and have a great day ahead of you. Bye guys, and see you next time.